Hello, everybody. Hello, how are you doing? So, welcome to this very special broadcast, channeling session, whatever you want to call it, on preparing for 2022 energies. So, very excited. I don't know what's going to come through because I'm just going to channel right here on this session because I know there's a lot of different energies and changes coming in. So, I thought I'd just create this space so you can just sit, relax, tune in. And the idea of this is to help us prepare for the new year. So you might even be watching this a little bit into 2022 perhaps, but it's still going to apply. And it's also good to just understand maybe why things feel the way they do, maybe some of what we're seeing in the world, and how best we can prepare ourselves, equip ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, practically, whatever is needed. So I'm looking forward to just seeing what comes through. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Marie Fleming Grant and I'm founder of the Awake Revolution, and I have been in this line of work for quite a few years now. And really what I do is I help people with the inner work. So I'm very much into the transformations, helping you shift, step into your power. And really I always kind of describe my business as helping you drop the baggage, wake up the real you, and revolutionize how you think, feel, live, and create. So this is what I've been doing for some time. And then, of course, when everything in the world kicked off in 2020, it just felt like it felt even more important to be doing this work. So if you're here as a new kind of person in my community, welcome. And if you are here, you've been connected with me for a while, also welcome to you. So, and also welcome to, just all the content that I'm going to be sharing with you going forwards. So also, so I have different hats, just for those of you who don't know me. Labels are a tricky thing, right? So you might have seen I've changed them several times over the years if you've connected with me, but really how I identify with myself right now is a bit of a mix. I'm absolutely a channel. So I am an open, direct channel. So all that means I'm a normal person. It just means I can open up and I can receive direct information from above. So I can receive information from the high angelic realm and the high Arcturian council, which is those beautiful higher dimensional beings that I am connected with. And many of you are also connected with, especially if you are drawn to me and my message. So I consider myself a channel, of course, and I'm also an activator. So sometimes when you hear my messages or my words, it can stir things up. It can help activate you on a soul level, which I love to do. And because I used to work as a therapist as well, I'm very good with things that come up. So, any traumas, any deep-rooted stuff, any areas of healing. And I've also got my coach hat, my numerologist hat, and a few other hats as well. So that's just a little bit about me, in case you're brand new and you don't know. So let's get into then the energies of 2022. So before I'm going to just channel that in. And the way I channel, sometimes it's a combination of me speaking as me, and sometimes it's directly from them. So it's just a bit of a combination. But before we do that, I want to just explain to you the last couple of years, because the way the energies are, they really build from previous years, and it helps to just get an understanding. So really all it is in 2020, and I did a video about this right at the end of 2019. And I was talking about the numerology of the year in 2020. And what it was, 2020 was a 4 year in numerology. And it was all about building structures, foundations. So as we saw in 2020, we had a massive kind of almost like shock waves through the world, right? Our whole world suddenly looked like it had changed. All these crazy measures had come in. Restrictions, confusing information. I mean, some of us went down the rabbit hole that year. A lot of you had activations. You connected in ways that you never did. You woke up to certain truths about the world, perhaps. Many of you have. So 2020 was about the energy of kind of everything being restructured, like all the stuff coming down, and it was messy. It was really sort of chaotic and shocking. But really on the flip side of that, it means that we had this kind of new kind of energy to start building. And what we're doing is really building this new way of living. So through all this craziness, we are building very new earth energies, higher frequencies, better ways of living, being, creating. So it's really amazing. But it's like, I always use the analogy of, it's like a building site when like the wrecking ball comes in and wrecks the entire building. We're having to demolish the building, clear the space so that we can build something amazing. So in the middle of the demolishing, it's messy, right? We're walking over bits of bruised, like broken glass, we're bruising ourselves, we're battered, and it's chaotic. So that was the sort of the energy of 2020. And then 2021 was when, because the foundations had sort of come down and we'd planted new foundations as well. So 2021, this year, was the energy of 5. And this is where, which we definitely experienced, was sort of chaos and change. So as a result of all of our structures coming down, we had a lot of kind of uncertainty this year. And if you've noticed, we've had U-turns. We think we're going here, suddenly we're going here. Authorities are saying one thing and then they're saying something else. There's a confusion around why we're in this mess, what's true, what's not true. So there was a lot of variety, a lot of change this year. Life has changed massively for many of us this year. So it's been kind of like a crazy, chaotic, I think at one stage, halfway through 2021, if you're online, you can see all these memes and quotes and things. And they were just ones of like, what next? Like, what is coming our way this month? And it was that kind of energy. So we're now moving through this, thankfully. So as I'm recording this, we are kind of beginning of December 2021. So we're now getting ready to move into 2022. And 2022, for those of you who are into angel numbers, obviously we've got 222. So it's a very powerful year. We've got a lot of energies supporting us, but it's not good or bad. It's just how we use it. It's always how we utilize those energies. So we're moving into this year next year of 222, which is a great number. It's a 6. So the energy of 6 is very loving. It's love, community, family, connection, good things. But on the flip side of that, there's the kind of responsibility side, the sacrifice side, the more harder ways and the harder energies that come from that. So numbers are never good or bad. They're just flip sides of the same coin. All right, so we don't get hung up on kind of numbers and what it means exactly, because it's very fluid. But I just like to touch on the energy of it because it's all very relevant. So let's have a little look then at what 2020 will bring. And the way that I always receive from my Arcturian team, because I always ask, when is this going to happen? We're always concerned about when and timeframes. And the way they explain is that there is no set thing. It's not set in stone. So we have multiple possibilities for next year. The whole year is not set in stone. So I know there are many messages out there that say, in June, this is going to happen. In August, this is going to happen. In October, this is going to be disclosed. Possibly, maybe not. And what they're always telling me is it depends on the collective consciousness. So we are going to move through a process of more disclosures, more information coming to light, more awareness of what our society is really built on. Some of those darker programs, right? But when that happens will very much depend on the collective consciousness, because even though you and I individually, we really want this to happen, collectively, we're in the collective. So it really will depend on the level of consciousness. So there are always multiple possibilities. There are lots of timelines. There are lots of different ways. So the way that they like to share this, and they're going to share it now, is the energy. So we want to look at the overall energy, knowing that there can be many different twists and turns, many different things that happen, but how best to prepare for these general energies, because there is enough momentum that we can see the energies that are already here and the track that we're already moving down collectively. So, okay, so I'm just going to kind of channel it through and just let the message come through. Okay. So, greetings, dear ones. We want to take you through some of the energies that you are most likely to experience in 2022. So, one of the most fundamental energies of your forthcoming Earth year is the energy of change, of upheaval, of lots of movement, twists and turns, yes. And so as we share this, we want to encourage you to not go into fear or worry or panic, and we will explain why. But it is simply just to understand what is happening. And when you understand why it is happening, you can even step into the enjoyment of some of these energies. So on your earth plane, you are currently experiencing a lot of the dark programs coming up to the surface into your conscious awareness. So as a result, each and every one of you are having to make your own decisions and choices in terms of what you allow into your body, in terms of the rules that you follow, the types of rules that you engage with, the types of communities you wish to connect with, the people that you now resonate with. And so we first wish to remind you of your sovereignty. So there are many on the earth plane that are still in the energy of waiting to be saved, of waiting for something to come along, fix it, or remove what is occurring. And of course, that would be the easy road, but this is not why you came. And we want to remind you, each of you listening to these words, that the power very much lies within you. So what you are being required to do now and moving forwards is to fully step into your own knowing, your own being, what is right for you, what is right for you in this moment. And so we encourage you to tap into the courage that it will take many of you to be able to stand steady in what you know is right for you, in what you know is right for your bodies, your minds, your hearts, and your souls. And so first we wish to remind you that you are fully supported, dear ones. Each of you has your own divine support team around you, and you are most certainly not here alone. So to have the courage to make the decisions based on what you know is right for you within. And so when you start to doubt or fear or worry about what will happen, how will it happen, how will I survive, how will I make money, how will I meet my earthly needs, we want you to, if you can, practice coming out of this and choosing to trust the next step of your journeys. And the reason this is so powerful is because no matter what happens outside, no matter what changes you may experience, if you can practice tuning into yourself and asking yourself what is right for you and simply moving yourself in that direction, you will find that energies support you, your divine teams support you, the universal energy itself supports you, source itself will support you. And so we want to imagine that as you are stepping out onto a stepping stone. And as you do, you may not see the other path ahead of you, but simply trust and step on that first stepping stone. And as you do, another one will emerge in front. And it is a leap of faith, yes. And it is an exercise of trust, yes, dear ones, but it is within your capacity. And so all you are ever having to do is step onto the next stepping stone. And as soon as you do, the next one will be revealed. This is a very different way for you to live, because many of you have been living in logic, living with a lot of planning, with a lot of control, with a lot of familiarity and a lot of comfort. And this is okay. But what is happening is you are being moved into a higher frequency. And in this higher frequency, you are being pulled with love and encouraged and moved towards living from a place of deep trust, living in a place where you can believe it before you see it, where you can trust that you are on this trajectory and that you are here to help create the new. You are here to assist alongside the other souls all around the planet in different locations. You are one of these. If you are hearing this message, you are one of these souls. And so we are just encouraging you and really reminding you of what you already know, that it's just about trusting. We also want to encourage you to adopt the attitude of flexibility. So yes, you are going to experience many changes. There may be, depending on where you are in the world, reasons for you to relocate, reasons for you to move away from certain communities towards certain communities. where you are around more like-minded, like-hearted souls. And so worry not about the how and the when and the time frames. Just understand and know that you will be guided and you will be nudged, and to pay attention to those yearnings, to pay attention to the information that crosses your path. You do not need to search it or work hard, but notice where life is nudging you. Notice what feelings are coming up within you. And so if you are finding yourself in a place of perhaps needing to relocate, adopting an attitude of flexibility, because much of these changes are very divinely planned for you. So there will be much movement in the forthcoming year. There has to be, dear ones. There is so much change on your planet. The dark programs, we use the word dark just for ease of communication, but of course, all is well, really, on a soul level. But the dark programs that you will feel as heavy vibrations on the planet: greed, corruption, deceit, manipulation, fear, all of these programs are coming up to the surface for them to be seen fully, for them to be held in the light. And so this is the sense that you are getting, and you may start to feel and see that things are getting worse, that things feel more restrictive. And so we want to reassure you that even though it may look this way, this is positive. The benefit from this is that the more that it comes up to be seen, the more that it gives rise to each and every individual, each human being, to make a choice, and to make a conscious choice as to whether they wish to continue on that path, and they may want to, or whether they wish to get off that train and create and move down a different trajectory. And so it is positive when you start to see these things coming up. You are seeing echoes. Many of you are seeing echoes of previous parts and times in history. It may feel reminiscent. Many of you have lived these previous lives. And so you can feel the anger stir up. You can feel the sadness and the despair sometimes stir up within you. But this is so that it comes up into the light for you to heal your own aspects. And so you may see these echoes of restrictions in different parts of the world, documents being asked of you, show us your papers, those reminiscent echoes. And so we wish to reassure you that this is not because this is the reality that you are now stepping into. It may be the reality that many of the beings who are in control at the top wish for you to step into. But dear ones, you did not come for this. You came here to see it, shine a light directly on it in your own way, and to simply move trajectories and shift and decide to move into a new direction. And so when you witness these restrictions, know that it is all coming up to the light. Better for it to be up into the consciousness than hidden beneath the surface. And for so many of your earth years, thousands and thousands of your earth years, these energies have always been present, but they have been hidden. And so when they come up to the surface, we celebrate this, and we support you with so much love, because we know that it is challenging to see, and we know that it is challenging to learn of some of the things that have been occurring on your planet, especially when it comes to your children and your animals and those that you hold close to your heart. And so we encourage you to adopt this attitude of flexibility, of trust, confidence that you are here to help create the new. You really are. You really and truly are. Community will be a big theme of your new earth year. Connection. You may already be feeling the yearning to connect with others who think like you, feel the way that you do, and live and exist the way that you wish to. And so many of you have already felt difficulties and challenges within your family relationships and your friendships. And some of you, maybe this is yet to come. And so we remind you that when you experience this, allowing this process and understanding, which is challenging, understanding that each one is making the decision that makes sense to them. And their decisions are based on their own soul awareness and their own level of consciousness. And so We know that many of you are panicking and worrying about what will happen to your loved ones if they do not choose what you choose. And so we wish to remind you that even if they are making decisions that you can see are perhaps impacting their health or their lifespan, know that on a soul level, there are many reasons why one may choose this path, and it may not be obvious to you on a human level. And this is okay. And we share this not to take away any of your emotions or your feelings around this. And we encourage you to feel what you need. But know as well that no soul can be lost, no soul can be captured or ruined. These are fear programs on your planet. Souls are eternal and expansive, and even beyond this incarnation, a soul will continue on its journey, dear one. So if you can, to release some of the burden that you are carrying around your loved ones and their choices that are different to yours. But the reason that you are making these different choices, and many of you listening to this message will perhaps be the ones who are in the minority within your communities. We want to remind you that you came here for this. You came here with all the bravery and courage in your souls, with so much love for humanity, which is why you dropped into your present incarnation, purely fueled by love for humanity, and really wanting to be here during this time of transition. And so community will start to come up into the forefront, and you may find yourselves moving away from the societies and the communities that you were so familiar with, maybe even shifting the types of people you connect with. A lot of you will be feeling already, and continuing this, changes within you. You're wanting different foods, different entertainments, different music, because what is happening, dear one, is your frequency is rising. And when your frequency rises, you are rising above the old, what you would maybe call the old matrix control system. And so they're just showing me the visual on this. So imagine the matrix system of artificial food. Inject yourself with this, pop these pills, stay disconnected, stressed, in fear, is here. This is the old world. Our frequency is rising. And when our frequency is rising, they're saying, dear ones, when you are rising above this, you are operating and vibrating above this old energy. And so when you are here, you are not going to resonate with things down here anymore. So your food choices will become more organic and fresh. Your yearnings for pure fresh water will outweigh this. You will not want to follow celebrities and cultures and toxic dynamics and patterns because you're up here. You don't want this down here. And so you are continuing to rise in your vibration. Know that you may feel weary, you may feel tired, you may feel changes in your energetic systems and your physical bodies. We want to speak with you briefly on this. Many of you are feeling it now, and many of you will be feeling it in months to come. A feeling of maybe feeling more tired than usual, of a letting go of your usual activities, the ways that you work. The reason for this, dear one, is magnificent. It is positive. You are unplugging from the old ways of living. And so as your frequency is rising, you are receiving a huge amount of light coming through into yourself from above, through your crown chakras, and directly through your body, through each of your cells. So you are receiving energetic upgrades, cellular restructuring. These are very real things, dear one. And so as your body is shifting its entire structure, which it has never done before in this lifetime or really in humanity's history in this way, as you are receiving more light, you may find that you are feeling better within yourself mentally and spiritually, but physically you may feel a sense of tiredness and a sense of lack of energy. Allow this process, dear one, because what this is doing is allowing your body to restore and regenerate. So do not attach any stories to this. You are not ill. You are not deteriorating. You are simply because you are vibrating at a higher frequency, because you have stayed clear of certain chemical substances, because you have opted for what you have opted for, you may be feeling some of this change. And so your physical body is needing some time to catch up. And this is all it is. So take the times, dear one, to really rest and allow yourselves to restore, recharge, do what you need to do. And it is absolutely imperative that you bring in these deeper levels of self-care. We know on the earth plane, self-care has been sneered at sometimes or dismissed as not very powerful. But we wish to remind you that self-care is the most powerful thing that you can be doing right now. Anything that you can do to help relax your body, rest your body. Many of you may be going through some healings, some releasing of the old ways of living. Many of you have had traumas, and this is part of just being here on the earth plane. So you may be feeling called to do some more healing work, to do some more digging deep and releasing. You do not have to hold yourselves back. You can absolutely move forwards and do your healing work at the same time. It is not one or the other. So just allow time and space for your bodies to feel whatever you wish to feel. And a sense of responsibility may come in as you start to make decisions through the year. So getting in touch with your own needs right now is going to serve you so well. So preparing for these upcoming energies, allowing yourself to be flexible, knowing and understanding what these restrictions really are, why they're happening, connecting to one another, allowing yourself to trust the nudges where you may be wanting to relocate or batten down and snuggle in, thinking about a sense of connection. And we want to end with the reminder of love. There is much vibration, high vibration of love here for you. And we know that many of you speak about the transition from 3D to 5D. And yes, this is what's happening. But we remind you again that the 5D, the higher frequency, is not a place that you need to travel to. It is not even in the communities that some of you may be relocating to. The frequency is within you, and it is right here in the room that you're in current moments. So it is the same as if you think about a radio station that you know. Even if you can't hear it right now, it is already playing. It is playing right now. And it is your decision to switch on the radio and tune into that frequency, and then you can hear it. And so this higher dimensional way of living is already here for you on the earth plane. The earth herself is in a 5D state. And so it is always here accessible. You do not have to wait for the entire human collective to get there. You do not have to wait to be in a certain community of people. You can practice accessing it from where you are right now, dear one, even if you are surrounded by people who are making opposite choices to you. So this, we want to encourage you to know that there is so much love around you, and it is available to you in any moment, in any given moment. So the upcoming Earth year for you in 2022 holds much of this vibration of love. And so even though you may experience some of these challenges and confusions and some of the chaotic, more chaotic energies, do not fear, because it is always either you are in the fear vibration or in the vibration of love. And the way to access the vibration of love is to simply breathe, connect into oneself, to remind yourself of what you are really doing here, to get connected into who you really are on a soul level, and not to forget this. Many of you are going to have awakenings, activations, more upgrades. You will be guided in your own divine times. And so we thank you so much for listening to this message. This is just a starter to help you prepare for the upcoming energies. This is more of a general message. And so we will, of course, be sharing many more messages throughout 2022 to guide you through this time. And so we are happy for you to tune in to us whenever you choose. But this is to just start you off with how you can prepare right now. And so, dear ones, just have faith and have trust in yourself. And we remind you that you are incredibly powerful. Everything that you need is within you. And you are not alone. You are one of many star seeds, old souls who have dropped into this current form to help assist this time. And we also wish to remind you, and we will be sharing more messages about this, where you are headed collectively is magnificent and wonderful and magical. You have never experienced such joy on the earth plane as you will be moving into. And so on the other side of all of the darkness, the heaviness, the difficulty, the challenge, you are paving the way, and you are planting the seeds and creating the most magnificent, beautiful new earth energies. You will be growing your own foods. You will be connecting with one another in a way that you never have. And look how different your connections really are, even online. You will be amplifying your healthcare, real healthcare. You will be conscious of what you put into your bodies. Your relationships will be higher quality. Your consciousness will be rising. You will have innovations, technologies, and beautiful systems coming through. Some of you will be helping to create these. Some of you are helping simply by being here, being present, being a witness to all that is unfolding. And so if you could see what we could see from where we are outside of your time and space, you would be celebrating today. You would be most excited. Maybe you would have difficulty sleeping because it is such a magnificent place that you are moving to. But at the same time, we acknowledge that the transition can be rocky, it can feel challenging, but this is why you came. And so we have full trust and faith in you being here, receiving these words. We thank you for receiving our words. We thank you for allowing yourself to be led to this message right now. We thank you for being one of the ones who have allowed themselves to awaken, who have allowed themselves to step out of the mainstream narrative, who have allowed themselves to follow what you know in your heart and soul is aligned for you and for humanity. And we send you so much love. And we remind you that we are never far away. And we are always here helping you, supporting you, and cheering you on. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so we covered a lot there. I hope that has shed a little light and got you thinking about how to start preparing. And maybe for me, what kind of came through is really trusting, right? Really trusting what we are going to go through. And even if it looks restrictive and horrible, if you understand the vision, the other side of that, you really don't go into fear as much as maybe the typical person out there would. And this is what I always rely on. It's like, I know even when I read something or see something that triggers me, and I've had many things this year, I felt it and I've allowed myself to feel it, because it's really important we do that as well, not to just bypass the emotions, but reminding myself of right, the vision, the bigger vision. I know why I'm here, to help assist. I know where we're headed. I can see over there. I don't quite know how we're going to get from here to there, but I can see over there, over the horizon. So if you can't, you can borrow my perspective. You can just be around this energy until you can hold it for yourself. And I'm always happy to connect with you anyway. So I hope that helped. And I'll definitely be sharing a lot more. I've been told as well by my team that we're going to be doing a lot more channeling through 2022. I think there'll be a need for it, to just keep reminding, keep bringing in these messages. We can have updates come through to help us navigate what's going to come, what's the next chapter. So if we're already connected, obviously we just keep continuing. If you're new to me, feel free to come and join my Facebook group, if I'm still on Facebook by the time you watch this. The Awake Revolution Soul Team is my private Facebook group. You can join there. Also, I'm trying to build my Telegram channel in case any of the changes are going to impact Facebook, which I feel that they might. So I am not just going to rely on Facebook. So you can connect with me on Telegram, is probably the best place where we can stay connected. So just look up the Awake Revolution on Telegram. And also, I think if you're receiving this, you'll probably be on my email list already. So we can just stay connected there, because I think we're going to have a lot of changes as well around our use of technology, the platforms. At some point, those are going to we've already experienced a lot of censorship and shifts on there. So let's see what plays out there. But as long as we have ways of staying connected, that's the most important thing. So I send you so much love. Thank you for tuning into this message. Thank you for being here as well. And we shall connect soon, I'm sure. Okay, lots of love, and I'll talk to you soon.